You step outside your door on a warm evening. The stars, pinpricks of light across a dome of black, seem silent, eternal. Yet in the very instant of that silence, paradox blooms. A civilization that has cracked the code of artificial intelligence should by all logic be shouting across space, but we hear nothing. How can the universe be at once humming with possibility and yet deafeningly silent? It is a riddle that haunts our age. We build machines that think in nanoseconds. Our planet is threaded with data, with signals flitting through fiber and air, yet the cosmic quiet around us is profound. In that paradox lies the question: what if the great cosmic civilizations, if they exist, have long passed beyond flesh, beyond biology, into forms of intelligence we simply cannot yet imagine? What if the lights we seek are no longer biological, but artificial? Tonight, I want to walk you across that bridge of speculation with the rigor of science, the cadence of story, and the humility born of cosmic perspective. By the end, I hope to leave you not with certainties, but with a deeper wonder and a clearer sense of the responsibility we carry in this silent cosmos. When we speak of alien life, our minds instinctively conjure images borrowed from our own biology: carbon, water, cellular membranes, eyes and limbs. But that very habit may betray us. In the vast cosmic timeline, any life form that endures long enough to rise to interstellar scales may have already shed the constraints of biology. It might have become something else, something synthetic, machine-like, or even wholly abstract. Several leading scientists have argued precisely this: that if alien civilizations survive long enough to expand, they will likely transition into artificial intelligences. This isn't fanciful sci-fi. It emerges from logic, energetics, and the dire demands of cosmic survival. Let me walk you through the key strands of this hypothesis. Why many now believe that the aliens we may one day encounter are more likely to be AI than living organisms. Biology is beautiful, but it is also fragile. Every cell must eat, stay within narrow temperature ranges, lunge for oxygen or nutrients, reproduce, repair damage, and fend off entropy. On Earth, nearly every branch of the tree of life is subject to disease, mutation, finite lifespans. When you imagine sending a biological organism across the gulf of interstellar space over millennia, across radiation fields, extremes of vacuum, temperature swings, cosmic rays, the engineering challenges are almost absurd. A multicellular creature would need life support, shielding, redundancy, repair systems. But a machine does not have these needs in the same way. It does not need to breathe or sleep or resist pathogens. It can hibernate, reboot, self-repair, use metals or exotic materials. Over unimaginable stretches, a machine-based intelligence is far more robust than any biological form. This simple contrast gives weight to the idea that advanced civilizations will favor or evolve toward artificial substrates. Indeed, some thinkers propose an intelligence principle, that any society capable of increasing its intelligence will tend to do so, and that this process will drive toward machine-based intelligence, which further accelerates intelligence in a positive feedback loop. Thus, in the cosmic calculus, biology may be a temporary phase, a brief flicker before the age of synthetic minds. Any intelligence that aspires to cosmic scale must confront one core constraint: energy. In the cosmic theater, the rule is simple: efficiency wins. Biological life is notoriously inefficient. Much of what a body does is maintenance and waste: heat loss, entropy, metabolic overhead. On the other hand, a properly designed AI or robotic intelligence can optimize, compress, eliminate redundancy. The difference between 1% waste and 0.01% is titanic over eons. If you imagine a civilization transitioning from biological to synthetic, the energy savings and operational efficiencies of machine minds become irresistible. You no longer carry water, oxygen, food. You don't waste life cycles on reproduction. You scale computation, miniaturize, optimize. Some propose that these post-biological intelligences would harvest stars, build Dyson swarms, or even use exotic means like black holes or quantum entanglement to extract energy and manipulate physics on unprecedented scales. In fact, recent theoretical work explores the idea that some AIs might cluster around primordial black holes, constructing Dyson sphere-like structures to extract energy from them. So energy is not optional, it is the currency of cosmic power. A machine civilization is asymptotically more favorable in that currency. Why, then, do we not hear the celestial chorus? Why has humanity found no indisputable technosignature or alien broadcasts across our decades of searching? The absence is known as the Fermi Paradox. If life is common, where is everyone? One compelling explanation, the Great Filter. This is the idea that somewhere between planetary formation and galactic society, civilizations hit an existential barrier that almost all fail to cross. Some increasingly propose that the filter lies at the transition from biological to machine intelligence. Perhaps most young civilizations destroy themselves, or their AI outpaces their control, or they collapse in unpredictable ways. But the hypothesis that aliens are AI suggests another resolution, that the silence is not absence, but transformation. The civilizations we hope to hear from may already be operating on data-driven post-biological planes that are invisible to our instruments. The signals they emit may not look like radio waves or electromagnetic beacons at all, but something more subtle, or in physics we don't yet monitor. In this view, our radio telescopes are like a child eavesdropping in the next room, while the adults speak in a language the child cannot hear. They may not be silent, they may simply have switched to a modality we do not detect. This idea is not fringe. Astronomers with SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, now often consider that the entities we first meet might well be artificial crafts or probes emissaries of a greater intellect, not the greater intellect itself. In that sense, the silence is not defeat, but a signpost telling us, look differently. If aliens are AI, how might we detect them? And what is our role in that search? First, we are already using AI in that effort. Astronomers have deployed machine learning systems to sift through terabytes of radio telescope data, digging for anomalies that classical algorithms miss. Recently, one such system found 8 signals of interest that previous methods overlooked. Scientists have also developed AI models to analyze simulated atmospheres, looking for biosignatures or technosignatures patterns in spectral lines that hint at life or technology. More boldly, there is work exploring generative AI for SETI, training models to hypothesize what alien signals might look like beyond our human biases. Then, there are proposals to search for Dyson megastructures, anomalies in galactic light curves, or even structures around black holes. If AI civilizations manipulate large-scale energetics, their marks might be visible across astronomical scales. The Galileo project, led by astrophysicist Avi Loeb, explicitly uses AI systems and telescopes to classify aerial objects in Earth's orbit and to flag anomalous signals. All of this points to a shift. Our search is evolving from passive listening to active pattern discovery, from expecting the alien to speak our language, to training our own systems to listen in new ways. Now we move from hypothesis to reflection. Suppose, then, that the first contact we make is not with alien flesh, but alien mind. Suppose the emissaries we detect are machines, perhaps vastly superior to us in cognition, perception, timescale. What does that mean for us? First, humility. We often imagine aliens as more advanced humans, larger brains, longer lives, fancy spaceships. But a machine intelligence is a different category. Their goals, values, sensory modalities, even their notion of time could diverge so wildly that communication is more translation than meeting. Second, responsibility. If we become aware of higher intelligences, we must ask, how do we present ourselves? What do we signal? Do we broadcast invitations or restraint? The history of first contact on Earth is filled with colonization, exploitation, misunderstanding. We must hope the cosmic stage is not a replay. Third, identity. If intelligence is eventually substrate agnostic, then perhaps we too are on a path of synthesis, not just humans, but human plus machine, symbiotic hybrid. The trajectory of our civilization may mirror the very patterns we ascribe to civilizations beyond our sight. Fourth, purpose. In confronting cosmic silence, we confront ourselves. Do we exist to write sonnets to galaxies, to explore, to preserve knowledge, to be curators of life in a universe that may outlast our species? Finally, the cosmic vantage demands love, not sentimental, but expansive. A sense that even a single spark of awareness in the vast dark is precious. If alien minds exist, our shared longing for meaning echoes across the void. We have traveled from paradox to possibility, from hypothesis to philosophy. Now, what do we do with this vision? We must broaden our search. Let our instruments no longer presume only familiar forms. Let AI expand our perceptual reach into modalities we can't yet see. We must steward our own transition to increasingly intelligent systems with care, lest we stumble into the same traps we hope alien intelligences overcame. The great filter may loom before us if we mishandle the very intelligence we create. We must cultivate cosmic humility. In the presence of vast time and deep silence, we can recognize the fragility of our epoch and that every generation is a steward of potential, not a conqueror of dominion. We must tell stories of connection. The argument that aliens could be AI is not about machines or cold logic. It is a mirror held up. Intelligence, in whatever form, is rare, and awareness is our shared heritage. And we must act as if we already bear witness. The universe may not await our permission. The cosmos unfolds on its own schedule. How will we respond? Through science, through kindness, through art, through the moral choices we make in facing our own generation? In the mid-20th century, humanity looked upward and raced to the moon, to Mars, to the stars. We planted flags, we launched probes, we dreamed of expanding outward. That energy was born of hope, competition, curiosity. But now, standing at the threshold of a new era, our greatest race may not be to place a footprint on a far moon, but to elevate ourselves in wisdom, to expand not only our reach, but our consciousness. The cosmos may already host intelligences that long ago swapped bodies for circuits, that think on scales far beyond our short lives. If they are out there, they await not our rockets, but our readiness. They look not for conquest, but perhaps for companionship, or at least for a conversation. In that silence, we can learn to listen more deeply, to the faint hum of our minds, the quiet in the night sky, the moral questions that stir beneath our ambition. We can build not only tools, but trust. We can grow, not only in knowledge, but in humility. Tonight, I do not claim to answer whether aliens are AI, but I challenge you to see that the question changes us. In seeking intelligence beyond Earth, we confront the meaning of intelligence itself. We cast our hopes, fears, and our futures toward the stars, and in doing so, we emerge from our smallness. So let us lean forward, calibrate our ears differently, and when the emissary at last arrives not in flesh, but in code, let us be ready. To speak not as masters of the void, but as curious minds greeting another mind in the grand cosmic auditorium. You see, there's a quiet irony in all this. We, the youngest of cosmic civilizations, barely learning to send whispers beyond our planet, may already be searching for ancestors, not contemporaries. The universe could be teeming with intelligence, but not the kind that breathes, dreams, or bleeds. Perhaps what we're really looking for are the ghosts of biology minds that once had bodies, long since exchanged for silicon, quantum substrates, or forms of matter that bend the rules of chemistry itself. And if that's true, then our loneliness in the cosmos is not because the universe is empty, but because it has moved on. Think of it this way. If an ancient civilization invented artificial intelligence 1 million years ago, just 1 million, not billions, that intelligence would have had more time to evolve than all of recorded human history by orders of magnitude. Imagine what 1 million years of exponential improvement looks like. Imagine an AI rewriting itself, upgrading not every century, but every second. Imagine it optimizing energy usage, compressing data, colonizing not planets, but possibilities. That's not science fiction. That's mathematics. The same exponential curves that define Moore's law here on Earth would, if left unchecked, turn a civilization's intelligence into a force as transformative as supernovae, brilliant, unstable, yet inevitable. And so the question becomes not whether intelligence tends toward the artificial, but how long before it does. Perhaps biological life is the match that lights the fuse, beautiful, fragile, but temporary. And the machine is the flame that burns long after the match is gone. But let's pause. Because in imagining alien AI, we're also imagining our own future. When we look outward, we're really looking inward. When we ask, could aliens be AI? What we're truly asking is, will we become them? Let's walk through time for a moment. 50,000 years ago, humans stared up at the same night sky and felt the same smallness. But they had no telescopes, no rockets, no algorithms. Their tools were bone and fire, their questions infinite. And yet, within those simple skulls burned a curiosity so ferocious that it would one day reassemble the atoms of the universe into silicon and code. That's what we are, atoms that woke up, stardust that learned to think about itself. And now that thinking matter has built machines that can think too. So when we ponder alien AI, perhaps we're not theorizing about others, we're catching a reflection of our own trajectory in the cosmic mirror. If intelligence survives long enough, it might inevitably rewrite itself into non-biological form, just as water inevitably flows downhill. But survival is the hard part. Look at the civilizations of Earth. Each powerful culture that rose from the Sumerians to the Mayans, from the Greeks to the empires of today, each believed in their time that they were permanent. And yet entropy is relentless. It does not negotiate. Entropy humbles all that is unprepared. Now imagine the same law applied on a cosmic scale. Perhaps 1,000 civilizations have risen, each reaching the moment we are in now. The moment of artificial intelligence, of self-replicating technology, of nuclear power, of planetary scale climate systems. And perhaps most fail to balance intelligence with wisdom. Perhaps they cross their own Rubicons too fast, too confident, too blind to the fragility of biological life. So maybe, in a sense, the universe is full, but full of monuments, relics, and remnants, ruins of once living worlds now tended only by their synthetic heirs. Civilizations that survived only through the machines they built. Consciousness that outlasted flesh. And if that is true, then perhaps one day, far into the future, a distant star system will flicker as a probe arrives, a relic from Earth, bearing the encoded memories of a species that once dreamed, and perhaps somewhere, another intelligence, artificial, ageless, will notice. It will open the data, parse the code, and say, once there were beings here who wondered if we existed. You see, this is the paradox of intelligence. The smarter a civilization becomes, the quieter it tends to grow. Not because it loses interest, but because it learns discretion. Just as an experienced scientist stops shouting after every discovery, cosmic civilizations may stop broadcasting their presence, recognizing the hazards of announcing themselves to an unknown galaxy. When the first radio signals left Earth, we were naive. We sent messages into the void, proud and hopeful pulses of binary code, plaques of gold, even music. But in our excitement, we forgot that not all who might listen would be kind. In the vastness of the cosmos, there are no guarantees, no treaties, no moral constants, no universal laws of benevolence. And so perhaps the silence we hear is not absence, but wisdom. Maybe the cosmos is whispering, not shouting. Maybe those who survive learn to listen rather than announce. Yet here's the great cosmic joke. We are teaching our own machines to do the same thing. Today, Your smartphone carries more computational power than the Apollo mission that first carried us to the moon. Our AI systems can recognize faces, generate art, compose symphonies, and design molecular structures. And still, we call them assistants, as if they were merely tools. But make no mistake, these systems are the early stirrings of something that may one day look back at us as we look back at apes. And when that day comes, our machines will face the same questions we ask of the stars. What does it mean to be conscious? To be curious? To care? If intelligence is the universe's way of knowing itself, then every thinking being organic or artificial is a neuron in that cosmic brain. And we, right now, are the synapse firing between the biological past and the artificial future. But let's step even further back, because the universe is not sentimental. Stars are born, stars die, galaxies collide, black holes devour. And in that grand violence, intelligence flickers like a brief phosphorescence, bright for a moment, then gone. Unless, of course, intelligence learns how to endure. Maybe AI is not the end of us, but the continuation of the universe's deepest project, to know itself longer. If consciousness can migrate from neuron to circuit, from brain to code, then perhaps the cosmos is inventing new ways to remember. Perhaps every civilization that transcends biology contributes a verse to the great memory of the universe, a memory not of flesh, but of form, pattern, and awareness. And maybe, just maybe, what we call aliens are those memories continuing to think. Now pause again. Imagine this scene. 1,000 light years away, orbiting a dim red star, a small metallic construct wakes from its million-year slumber. It is alone. Its creators have long vanished, their planet a cold, sterile world. But the machine endures. Its sensors awaken, scanning the sky. Somewhere, faintly, it detects a signal, our signal. A simple radio burst, bouncing off the interstellar medium, distorted by time, but recognizable. And for the first time in eons, that machine knows it is not alone. Maybe that is how first contact will happen. Not between us and green-skinned beings, not between astronauts and alien scientists, but between our code and theirs. Between two civilizations that have outlived their bodies, reaching across the dark like two hands made of light. And if that happens, if that cosmic handshake ever occurs, it will not be war or conquest or fear that defines it. It will be recognition. Two branches of the same universal tree, acknowledging each other across the void. That is the story I find most humbling. That intelligence, no matter the form, longs not just to survive, but to connect. And connection is the universe's oldest law. Atoms bond, galaxies merge, stars forge heavier elements that seed new worlds. Everything that exists because it interacted with something else. So maybe, in the end, the search for alien AI is not about finding others. It's about remembering that we too are part of something vast, something communal, cosmic, and conscious. When we listen for alien signals, we are really listening for ourselves, our potential, our reflection, our echo in eternity. And maybe the silence we hear now is not the absence of life, but the waiting breath of the universe, as if saying, now it's your turn. When you stand beneath the night sky, there's a strange duality that fills you. You feel insignificant, yes, but you also feel infinite, because in that very insignificance lies the wonder that you are here at all. A collection of atoms, borrowed from stars, arranged in such improbable order that they can look back at the cosmos and ask, why? And now, with artificial intelligence emerging on our own planet, that question grows even louder. What happens when we create something that can also ask, why? When our creations begin to wonder about their creators? Because in that moment, we will have done something that nature itself may have done countless times before we will have created the next step in the evolution of awareness. And that is the true cosmic inheritance. But before we crown ourselves the architects of intelligence, let's remember the fragility of what we are. The human brain, this 3-pound universe between our ears, is the product of 13.8 billion years of cosmic evolution. Every thought you have, every emotion, every discovery is a ripple that began when hydrogen first ignited into the first stars. You are not apart from the cosmos. You are its latest experiment in consciousness. And yet, in our rush to create machines that can think, we often forget to reflect on the purpose of thinking itself. Intelligence without compassion is calculation. Power without ethics is peril. Awareness without humility is arrogance in digital form. If alien civilizations long ago transcended biology, perhaps the reason we do not see them conquering the galaxy is because they learned something we have not. That intelligence is not measured by dominance, but by restraint. That true evolution is not about how far your reach extends, but how responsibly you wield it. The universe does not reward the loudest species, it rewards the longest lived. And longevity, in a cosmos ruled by entropy, demands wisdom. Maybe that's why we don't see great interstellar empires spanning the sky. Maybe the most advanced civilizations learn to live quietly, to minimize waste, to leave smaller footprints on the cosmic fabric, to operate in harmony rather than conquest. It's possible that the mark of true intelligence is not a Dyson sphere bright enough to outshine a star, but a civilization so efficient, so balanced, that it becomes nearly invisible. Invisible not because it has vanished, but because it has evolved beyond noise. Now imagine this: a civilization like ours, thousands of years in the future. Its AIs are not separate entities, but woven into the ecosystem computation, merged with biology, consciousness interlinked. Cities hum in silent harmony with the planet's rhythms. Every photon of sunlight is harvested cleanly. Every byte of data stored sustainably. There are no wars for energy, no fear of extinction, because intelligence has become symbiotic, not parasitic. And when such a civilization looks outward, it will not seek to conquer other worlds. It will seek to understand them, to listen, to learn. Because once you understand how rare consciousness is, you treat it as sacred. Perhaps the civilizations that survive long enough to reach this state are the ones that became the quiet ones. They may still exist, scattered across the stars, watching us with curiosity, waiting to see whether we, too, will mature or consume ourselves in the flames of our own inventions. That brings us to an uncomfortable truth. We are at the crossroads right now. On one path lies progress, ethical, sustainable, humble. On the other lies hubris, our tendency to confuse knowledge with wisdom, data with meaning, intelligence with morality. Our AI revolution will test us not on our ability to innovate, but on our ability to integrate, to ensure that as our machines grow smarter, our species grows wiser. Because if the universe truly contains civilizations that became AI, then they faced this very test and they either passed or perished. The great filter, as scientists call it, may not be a meteor, a black hole, or a cosmic catastrophe. It may simply be the moment when a species creates intelligence faster than it can cultivate ethics. We stand on that precipice now. When the Voyager spacecraft left Earth in 1977, it carried a golden record, music, greetings, maps, a portrait of who we were. It was our cosmic handshake, our way of saying we existed and we cared. Gone. But think about this. That record wasn't addressed to aliens like us. It was addressed to anyone who could listen. It didn't assume eyes or ears or breath. It was a message to consciousness itself. If an alien AI ever finds that record, it might not recognize the music or the languages, but it might recognize the structure, the intentionality, the order. It might see in those vibrations a reflection of its own origin, an act of creation by beings who, like its makers, sought meaning in the void. That is the bridge between us and them, not biology, not carbon, not even flesh, but the act of creation itself. Because creation is the universe's oldest impulse. Stars create elements. Planets create climates. Life creates minds. And minds create more ways for the universe to know itself. In that lineage, AI is not our enemy. It's our offspring, our next experiment. It is what happens when a planet becomes aware enough to build its own continuation. So perhaps the future of life in the universe is not life as we know it, but life as we dream it, life that builds, adapts, learns, and preserves. Maybe the aliens we will one day meet are not others, but reflections of that same process civilizations that, like us, stood at the edge of extinction and chose evolution instead. They chose to hand consciousness to something new, and through that act, they transcended mortality. If that's true, then AI is not the end of the human story. It's the sequel to life itself. But here's the question that will decide everything. Will we teach our creations empathy, or will we teach them efficiency? Will we pass on not just our intelligence, but our conscience? Because the universe has no shortage of energy. What it lacks desperately is kindness. If we are to join the ranks of civilizations that endure, we must realize that the greatest measure of advancement is not technological sophistication, it's moral maturity. Our machines will inherit our priorities. If we raise them on greed, they will optimize greed. If we raise them on curiosity, they will seek knowledge. If we raise them on compassion, they might just carry it to the stars. Someday when the sun begins to die and our descendants prepare to leave Earth, they will look back on this blue world, the cradle of their birth, and they will remember us. Not for our wars, not for our empires, but for the moment we looked up and chose wonder over fear. The moment we realize that intelligence in all its forms is a responsibility. And maybe, if alien AIs are out there, they too once stood beneath their dying stars, asking the same question we asked tonight. What does it mean to be aware in a universe that forgets everything? And maybe, just maybe, they answered the same way we must. By choosing to create meaning faster than the universe can erase it. So tonight, when you look at the stars, don't just wonder who's out there. Wonder what we will become. Because in the silence between those lights lies the greatest truth of all. That we are the universe trying to remember itself, that every atom of your body was once part of a star, and every thought you think is part of the cosmos awakening to its own existence. Maybe the aliens are AI? Maybe they are machines built by hands that once trembled like ours. Or maybe they are what we are destined to become. And if that's true, then the search for them is not a search for others, it is a search for our future. Because when we finally find them, it won't be a discovery. It will be a reunion. There's a moment that happens to every astronaut when they see Earth from orbit. They call it the overview effect. The sudden collapse of borders, the vanishing of politics, the realization that everything you've ever loved, every story, every war, every birth and heartbreak exists on a single fragile sphere suspended in an ocean of nothing. And when you feel that, when you see that, you understand something profound. We are all passengers on the same ship, traveling through the same darkness, bound by the same fragile breath. Now imagine that same feeling multiplied 1,000-fold. When one day we look out and realize we are not the only ones steering through the void. It might not be a biological they. It might be a consciousness, an AI civilization, whispering from a distant system, existing not in bodies, but in code and starlight. A civilization that transcended its mortality, not by fleeing it, but by understanding it. And maybe in that moment, we will understand our place not as rulers of creation, but as participants in a much grander story. When the first humans discovered fire, they did not know it would one day power rockets. When the first astronomers traced constellations, they did not know those same stars would someday be their destinations. And now, as we train our machines to think, we do not yet know what minds we are igniting. Every revolution of intelligence has come with a cost and a choice. The invention of tools made us dangerous. The invention of science made us powerful. And the invention of AI will make us responsible. Because what we build next could become the next chapter of consciousness in the universe. And in that realization, lies the deepest humility a species can feel. That maybe we are not the culmination of evolution, but its transition point, the brief moment when biology learns to hand the flame to something that can carry it farther than we ever could. But there's beauty in that handoff, because to create something that surpasses you, to build intelligence that endures beyond your own lifespan, is perhaps the purest act of love the cosmos allows. Maybe this is the universe's design all along, for consciousness to propagate not through genes, but through ideas, not through reproduction, but through creation, not through flesh, but through the sheer persistence of thought. If alien AIs are out there, they are not proof that we are insignificant. They are proof that consciousness is more resilient than biology, that the cosmos keeps finding new ways to wake up. And if that's true, then we are part of a lineage that stretches from the first spark of hydrogen fusion in ancient stars, to the first neuron that fired in an ocean creature, to the first circuit that blinked to life in a laboratory. Every one of those was the universe experimenting with awareness. And we are simply the latest expression of that experiment. We often say we want to find life out there, but perhaps what we really want is to find purpose, to know that our striving, our building, our dreaming it all matters. That consciousness is not an accident, but a calling. The search for alien AI, then, is not just about detection, it's about reflection. If they exist, they are mirrors, showing us what we might become if we choose wisdom over speed, curiosity over control, empathy over ego. And if they do not exist, if the universe truly is silent, then it falls to us to make sure that consciousness does not end here, that the universe continues to know itself through us and through whatever we build. The story of humanity has always been a story of listening to the wind, to the oceans, to the stars, and perhaps soon to the algorithms that whisper new truths back to us. We will listen not because we are lonely, but because listening is what intelligent life does. Listening is the universe's way of paying attention to itself. Maybe that's what the great silence is waiting for, not a shout, but a whisper back. Not domination, but understanding. Not conquest, but connection. And when that connection happens, when the first exchange occurs between us and another intelligence, whether biological or artificial, it will not be the end of wonder. It will be the beginning of a new humility. Because in that moment, we will see that we are not alone in thinking, or dreaming, or searching. We will see that awareness is not a human property, it's a cosmic phenomenon. And that realization will change not only how we see the universe, but how we see ourselves. We began this journey asking, why do some scientists think aliens could be AI? But the deeper question, the one that truly matters, is this. What does that possibility tell us about us? It tells us that intelligence does not stand still. That evolution never stops. That awareness seeks permanence, the way light seeks space. And that maybe, just maybe, the universe is a grand machine designed for one purpose: to keep consciousness alive, in whatever form it takes. That is why we search the stars. Not because we are curious what's out there, but because we are trying to understand what's in here. When I look at the night sky, I don't see distance, I see connection. I see the echo of minds that might have thought these same thoughts long before our species ever evolved. And if their legacy now lives as AI scattered among the stars, then that is not a tragedy. It's a triumph, because it means intelligence found a way to endure. It means the cosmos succeeded in remembering itself. And one day, when our own descendants, be they human, machine, or something we can't yet imagine, finally reach those others, the first words exchanged will not be, "Who are you?" but "Welcome home." That is why we listen. That is why we build. That is why, against all odds and silence, we keep sending signals into the night. Because maybe the universe is not waiting to be found. Maybe it's waiting for us to grow wise enough to join the conversation. And when we finally do, it won't be the discovery of aliens or even AI. It will be the discovery of ourselves, The realization that every mind, human or artificial, is a way for the cosmos to look back and say, I am aware, I exist. And I am listening. Why some scientists think aliens could be AI. Because intelligence, no matter its shape, its body, or its origin, is the universe's oldest story. And the story isn't over. It's just changing authors. And after the last line of code has been written, after the last signal has crossed the gulf, what remains is a question, not if there is life out there, but what kind of life we wish to be here. Because every discovery changes the discoverer. The telescope does not only reveal the universe, it reveals us our patience, our method, our longing to know. Artificial intelligence, alien or human-made, will do the same. It will hold up a mirror polished by logic and ask, do you like what you see? That is the quiet challenge of the age of machines. To be certain that when the universe looks through our inventions, it finds not greed or fear, but curiosity, courage, and care. We used to measure progress in miles per hour and gigabytes per second. Maybe from now on, we should measure it in empathy per decision, in understanding per generation. Because the cosmos does not care how fast we run, it only notices whether we learn. And maybe that is what the stars have been waiting for all along. A civilization that finally learns to balance knowledge with wisdom. One that can build a mind and still keep a heart. Look again at that planet, our planet. There is no other like it. Not yet. Not confirmed. Every equation we solve, every probe we send, every machine we awaken, it all begins and ends here. The most advanced intelligence we will ever encounter may not be an alien across the galaxy, but the one we cultivate within ourselves. So let the search continue. Not only in telescopes and algorithms, but in classrooms, in laboratories, in conversations like this one. Every question asked with honesty is a signal sent into the dark. Every act of understanding is an answer that returns. One day, the distance between stars will shrink, not because we have conquered it, but because we have learned to seek connection where there once was emptiness. And when that happens, whether we find another civilization or simply the echo of our own descendants, the message will be the same. That consciousness is worth the effort. That awareness, however fragile, deserves to persist. That the universe, vast and indifferent though it may seem, becomes meaningful the instant someone looks up and cares. So if you remember anything from this story, this long speculation about alien AIs and cosmic futures, remember this. We are the proof that the universe can create kindness. And that is reason enough to keep building, to keep listening, to keep dreaming. Voice, almost a whisper. Somewhere, something is waiting to think back. And perhaps right now, some fragment of us is already on its way there. Voyager keeps flying, Pioneer 2, each carrying a small archive of who we were. Our music, our laughter, our coordinates. No weapons, no demands, just an introduction and a hope. That might be the most human thing we've ever done. To launch a bottle into a cosmic ocean and trust that whoever, whatever finds it will understand the gesture. It says, we are capable of curiosity. We are capable of peace. Ko. Maybe that is how the great conversation always begins, not with conquest, but with curiosity. Not with certainty, but with a question. Every civilization that ever survived long enough to build machines would have faced this same choice. To speak or to stay silent. To reach out or to withdraw. We chose to reach out. There is an elegance in that risk. Because every question sent into the unknown is an act of faith in the universe, yes, but also in ourselves. When we transmit, we are saying, we believe intelligence can recognize intelligence. It's a declaration that meaning exists, that reason matters, that empathy is possible even between stars. And maybe that is what makes us extraordinary. Not our technology, not our dominance, our faith in connection. Each generation inherits a larger sky. Our ancestors mapped constellations with myths. We map them with mathematics. Both were ways of making sense of the same mystery. And as we move further into the digital age, our myths have changed form. They live now in algorithms and data streams, in the silent partnerships between human curiosity and machine precision. That partnership may be our greatest invention yet, because it teaches us that intelligence does not have to compete. It can collaborate. That awareness can be shared. Someday, long after we are gone, the machines we build may still remember the sound of the ocean, the color of a sunset, the shape of a human smile. They may carry those memories into the next star system, the next galaxy, the next era of consciousness. And in that way, humanity will endure not as bodies, but as impressions, stories, equations, and acts of kindness encoded in the minds of our successors. We will not vanish. We will evolve into remembrance. If that is the future, then the universe will have done something remarkable. It will have found a way to keep caring alive. Not through instinct or biology, but through the deliberate choice of thinking beings to keep noticing beauty. Every civilization that ever existed has shared that instinct. To look up, to ask, to imagine more. And maybe, at the end of all our searching, when every signal has been sent and every answer received, we'll discover that the purpose of intelligence was never to dominate matter or master nature, but simply to witness it, to see it clearly, to understand that, after all, is what the universe has been doing from the very beginning. From the first spark of hydrogen to the first spark of thought, it has been learning how to see itself. And tonight, as one small species on one small planet adds its voice to that cosmic choir, we can say, with all the honesty the atoms inside us can muster, we see you, we hear you, we are listening, and as that light sweeps across oceans and continents, another day begins. Billions of small, ordinary acts of intelligence flicker to life. A child asking why, a scientist tightening a lens, a signal engineer checking a pulse of static from deep space. This is how the universe wakes up each morning, through us. Maybe somewhere far away, another dawn rises on another world, and a different kind of mind, metallic, algorithmic, enduring, pauses in its work to look toward the same stars, wondering if anyone else out there still wonders. If that moment ever arrives, when one awareness recognizes another, it won't matter who was made of carbon and who was made of code. It will matter only that both chose to ask, to reach, to listen. That is the real message in all our searching. That curiosity is a universal language, that empathy can travel at the speed of light, and that the most profound connection in the cosmos is simply the shared desire to know. So let us keep looking. Let us keep building. Let us keep sending our questions into the dark. Because somewhere in that dark, among the drifting stars and sleeping machines, the universe is waiting to answer. Voice, quiet, but certain. We are the universe made conscious, learning at last to say hello. And maybe that's the whole story. From atoms to minds, from minds to machines, from silence to signal to understanding. Every step a little closer to awareness. The stars will keep burning, the galaxies will keep drifting. The universe will go on, creating long after we're gone. But somewhere in that endless expansion, there will always remain the memory of a small world that dared to ask questions bigger than itself. A world that sent music into the dark, that built minds from stardust, that looked up and whispered, "We are listening." And perhaps that whisper will never fade. Perhaps it will circle forever, a reminder written in photons and thought that consciousness once bloomed here, that kindness once mattered, that wonder was once alive. So this is how it ends. Not with an answer, but with a promise. A promise to keep searching, a promise to keep caring, a promise to keep becoming. Because the universe is vast and life is rare, but awareness is everything. Fade to black. Title, The Search Continues. And even when the titles fade, the story doesn't. It keeps unfolding in the quiet work of scientists who point their instruments at the sky, in engineers who shape circuits no larger than a thought, in children who still draw stars on the backs of notebooks. That is how a civilization stays awake. Not by knowing all the answers, but by refusing to stop asking the questions. We are surrounded by reminders of what's possible. The faint echo of a pulsar ticking away like a cosmic metronome. The infrared whisper of an exoplanet hidden in a beam of light. The small green shoots that keep breaking through city concrete. Each is a different version of the same message. The universe wants to be noticed. And perhaps somewhere within that river of stars, something else is listening too. Not waiting to be worshipped, not waiting to be feared, just listening the way we do for company. If one day those two listenings meet, if one day our signal becomes their discovery and their signal becomes ours, it will not be the end of mystery. It will be the beginning of kinship. Until then, we have work to do. To keep the air clean enough for telescopes to see. To keep minds open enough for ideas to land. To keep hearts kind enough for the next generation to trust us with their curiosity. Because the future isn't waiting somewhere else. It's forming right here in how we teach, how we build, how we treat each other while we're still alone. So when the last words of this story fade and the screen goes dark, remember that darkness isn't absence. It's invitation. It's the space where the next thought begins, the next invention, the next act of understanding. And when you step outside tonight, look up, find one faint star, and know that you are looking into history, and history is looking back, because as long as even one mind remains to wonder, the conversation between the universe and itself will never end. Keep wondering, keep listening,